Hello, everyone. I'm Z. Welcome back to the Unlocking Greatness podcast with Zenja Glass. Some of you may be listening to this and some of you may be watching the video. I want to jump right into something that is extremely important to me, probably my my favorite story in the Bible. It talks about Elijah, and this is in the book of 2 Kings chapter 6. Do not be afraid. Open your eyes. That's going to be the topic of this podcast. I want to say that again. Do not be afraid. Open your eyes. So let me give you the backdrop. In 2 Kings chapter 6, there was a king named, I think his name was Aram. I think that's spelled A-R-A-M. He was going to war against Israel. And every single time he tried to go into war, or develop a strategy or plan, there was this prophet named Elisha that continued to warn the king of Israel, warn Israel about what this king was trying to do. And I'm going to save you all of the backdrop of that, only to say that the king of Aram was very upset and said, we got to kill this guy. We got to get him. So imagine an army coming to your house, surrounding you. The king of Aram sent an entire strong force to this man's house, surrounded the entire city, I believe it was. And I have my Bible right here to talk about. Let me see, in verse 14, then he sent horses and chariots and a strong force there. They went by night and surrounded the city. Now check this out. I just want to read this passage real quick. I'm in verse 15. When the servant of the man of God got up and went out early the next morning, an army with horses and chariots had surrounded the city. "Oh, my Lord, what shall we do?" the servant asked. So think about that. Elisha had a servant. He got up that morning. He saw that they were surrounded, and basically they were getting ready to be killed. Have you ever felt that there's just an army surrounding you, that you've got so many problems, so much going on in your life, like I just don't even see how I can make my way out of this? So his servant literally freaked out, as many of us probably would. And the reason why I love this passage so much is Elisha's response. Elijah said to his servant, "Do not be afraid." Then he went on to tell him, "Those who are with us." Now keep in mind, please hear me on this. It was only Elijah and his servant standing there. And around them was a huge army. Strong, forceful army sent by a king, King Aram. But Elijah said to his servant, "Do not be afraid. Those who are with us are more than those who are with them." And then here's the part in this passage that just rocks my world. He says, and I want to quote it right, and I'm reading from the New International Version, the NIV, by the way, but he says in here, and I just want to read it. "Do not be afraid." I'm in verse 16. The prophet answered, "Those who are with us are more than those who are with them." And Elisha prayed, "O Lord, open his eyes so that he may see." Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked and saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. I could just stop right there. I don't even need to read anymore. I just pray that you guys get what happened in this passage. Elijah did not pray for God to take the problem away. He didn't pray for the problem to be taken away, which I've done that many times. Lord, if you could just change this relationship. Lord, if you could just make this person act better. Lord, if you could just make my kids do what they're supposed to be doing. Lord, if you could just, whatever. It could be something on the job, something in finances, something in relationships, something in health, you name it, right? Elijah did not pray for God to take the problem away. He didn't pray that. He turned to his servant who was freaking out and told him, "Don't be afraid." And then he asked God to open his eyes. So in other words, and I want to wrap this up because I don't want this to be a long broadcast, because I just want to nail it and I want to give you some time to just chew on this meat that I'm giving you. He said to the Lord, "Open his eyes so that he may see." That lets me know that many times we can walk around with our eyes closed, completely closed, not being aware of what is going on in the spiritual, but only looking in the physical, only looking at actually what we see. That's what that says to me. I'm turning my mic a little bit because it's I don't know, it's doing something a little funny. But that's what that says to me is many times we look at situations from the physical because we think the problem is too big for us, as Elijah's servant did. He was freaking out, and that's what we tend to do, right? We lost our job. Oh my God, we're freaking out. What are we gonna do? You know, our kids are acting up, or this relationship is not going right, or I just got some bad health news or whatever, right? Because we're just looking at the horses and the army that's around us that's been sent from the enemy. I love that Elijah said to the Lord to open his eyes. And when he opened the servant's eyes, what did it say that the servant saw? The hills was filled with chariots of horses and fire all around them. That blows my mind. What that tells me is surrounding the problem. Hear me on this. Just give me one more minute of your time. Surrounding the problem was the army of God. I'm going to say that again. Surrounding the problem that was in front of them, this army that came to kill and destroy them, all along, the army of God was there. The only difference is Elijah saw it and his servant didn't. And Elijah prayed that his servant's eyes be open. I pray that this message is touching someone who's going through a hard time in life to realize that you have more on your side than you think. I love that Elijah said, those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Because in the spiritual world, there's a war and a battle going on, you guys, that we have to have our eyes open to. God surrounds the problem. He surrounds the problem. Now, you can go ahead and read the rest of that passage on your own. Again, I keep saying this in almost every broadcast that I'm not a minister. I'm not, an evangelist or what have you. I'm just a woman that is after God's heart. And I love looking at the scriptures in black and white and relating it to my life. That's just who I am. This passage I think about so much when I feel overwhelmed. When I feel that the problem surrounding me is too great for me to handle. And I literally go into my closet. For many people that know me, I sit in my closet and I just say, Lord, open my eyes. Open my eyes, God, that I may see what you see. And that's what I'm praying that you all do. There are chariots of fire around you. God's plan is always going to prevail. We need to be praying that he opens our eyes. Now, you can read the rest of the story to realize what happened. So after their eyes were open, basically Elijah prayed, after the servant's eyes was open, I should say, Elijah prayed and the army began to march down and attack them, by the way. So the army came full force down the hills, coming up on them to attack them. Think about that for a moment. And Elijah just simply prayed, Lord, strike them with blindness. And the Lord struck them with blindness. And then you would think Elijah would have had them all killed, And Elijah basically fed them all and sent them back. And the King of Aram was like, I'm not messing with them no more, and left them alone. So that's kind of the premise of the story. But I love this passage. It is one that is written on the tablet of my heart because I revert back to it so many times, probably on a monthly basis. I am praying that you read this passage, that you get inspired and encouraged. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube page, as well as to this page if you're watching this on my other social media channels. But make sure that you subscribe and you comment. And I would love for you to comment and tell me, how has God opened your eyes? What problem was surrounding you? And you were not aware that, oh my goodness, now that I've prayed, Z, and now that I realize where you're coming from in this, now that my eyes are open, here's what God has revealed to me. That's what I would love to hear from you all. My prayer is that the eyes of your heart are open. That God opens the eyes of your heart. I love you all. I sincerely pray that this passage helps you all. And I look forward to many more of these podcasts, many more of these episodes. Bye-bye. Hi, everyone. This is Z again. Do not forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification button. Bye-bye.